Good afternoon, CFM. This is Coach Matt with our Friday workout. Hope your Christmas day was awesome. We're gonna get to Friday with a little flex action today. So let's begin with 2 rounds of the warm-up. First round, do 2 minutes of warm-up. Second round, do just 1 minute of warm-up cardio, and then grab a PVC pipe. A couple exercises with this one. First is just some basic shoulder stretching, PVC pass-throughs for 8 reps, and then we're gonna get 12 reps, 4 reps each of the shoulders to overhead complex. We're just using the PVC pipe for drill purposes today. In the Flex Friday workout, this will be with dumbbells, but it's the same complex of movements, right? So we're going through our 3 shoulders to overhead variations. So the first is shoulder press that is strict. So I'm squeezing my legs, keeping a stable foundation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next is going to be push press. So now it's a single dip drive press, a little bit faster, 1 hip flex and extend cycle, right? Next is going to be the jerk, which has 2 hip flex and extend cycles. So it's dip, drive, press and dip, stand tall, all right? And that is the finish of the jerk. When you do it full speed, it looks like a jump and land, right? That is our 3 movements. So 4, 4, and 4, working progressively upward in efficiency and complexity. And that is the same sequence that we will use when we get to the dumbbell portion of the workout. I'll show you that in just a second. Next one is 4 reps of each side of the high knee single leg deadlift 3-step drill. It just sounds a lot more complicated when you say it, but high knee, right? I'm gonna kick my hip out to the side, then kick it back into the single leg deadlift position, touch my toe, then drive back up to that high knee position, and then take 3 quick steps. 1, 2, 3. Knee up, hip out, single leg deadlift, knee up, 1, 2, 3. Hip out, single leg deadlift, knee up, 1, 2, 3. Hip out, single leg deadlift, knee up, 1, 2, 3. Got it? 4 steps on each side. Next one we're gonna do is 4 to 6 reps of your bench press warm up, right? And I would start with the empty barbell, work your way into the 30s and 40s for percentage. When we do the bench press, this is a shoulder width grip. I have my bar right over my shoulders, and I want my eyes to be underneath the bar when I start. So right here, when it's in the rack, the bar should be right over my eyeballs so that when I pick it up, I bring it down over my shoulders, touch my sternum at the bottom, elbows 30 to 45 degrees away from my body, and then press up to straight arms every rep, okay? That's our bench press. When we do this in the workout, it's going to go from higher reps to lower reps. So every round, you take away 2 reps, add a little weight. Next round, take away 2 reps, add a little weight. We should try to get into the 80s in percentage, recognizing that the alternate exercises, the superset exercises, will tire you out for that next set of bench press, right? So if you have to stay the same in order to get 6 reps, stay the same in order to get 4 reps, that is totally fine. Make sure you're using a spotter, especially when we get down to the third and fourth rounds there, okay? Next exercise, strict toes to bar or lying leg raise. For the strict toes to bar, if you do this hanging, I don't wanna see your feet go behind your hands, right? So feet should stay in front of our hands the whole time. They should never go back here, and that maintains tension in our abs, right? So strict toes to bar all the way to the bar, and then in control, letting back down and tapping the ground at the bottom, okay? You can do that without tapping the ground. That's the hardest way to do it. Next one is a dumbbell chest fly. So I've got 2 dumbbells. Chest fly is arms almost straight, but just slightly bent, kind of like an RDL for your chest, squeezing them back together and clinking them at the top. The dumbbells should stay aligned the whole time, so there shouldn't be much rotation on the dumbbells. That's our chest fly. Next one is a 25 rep dumbbell shoulders to overhead complex drop set. Again, lots of words, right? But what I want you to do is start with 2 dumbbells at your shoulder, press them in the overhead position until you can't anymore, until you hit failure. Then use the push press, right? Dip drive press until you can't anymore. Then use the jerk. All right, and the goal is getting close to 25 reps, all right? If you can only get 22, I'd say that's perfect, all right? If you get 27 or 28, no problem. If you get into the 30s, then it's probably time to try the next size up dumbbells, okay? So that's kind of our band, our range for that number of reps. It is a drop set with 2 drops. So what that means is on each of those, you should go very, very close to failure. However, recognize when you got heavy iron things over your head and your hands, you don't really want to go to failure in that position, right? So get close where you feel like maybe the next rep would be a little shaky. That's when you switch movements, okay? And then try to get into that range of 25 reps, right? Plate twists and V sit-ups are the last two exercises. So plate twist, I'm just standing in my athletic position, press that plate straight out in front of me, look through the hole in the middle the whole time, 20 reps in each direction. And then V sit-ups, I'm trying to hinge at the waist as opposed to curling myself up, right? I would like for my spine to stay aligned, and I'm pulling myself up with my lower abdominals and my hip flexors every rep on that. When you're finished with that, record your bench press weights. And that is our goal for today, is the heaviest bench press while still accomplishing all of the other activities in the superset. All right, there is a finisher today. It is 3 250-meter row sprints. All right, 250 meters is relatively short distance. I like to see it in the minute range or faster, right? And then rest as much as you need to rest in between efforts. I would imagine that will be 3 to 4 minutes in between each effort, okay? And that is it for this Friday. Have a great one. I'll see you guys on Saturday.